Welcome back to Talkin Flag episode 6. I'm Ambra.
And I am Tika. And today we have a true game changer in the flag football world joining us, Joe Taglia.
How are you? And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Joe. So, Joe is the co founder of THT Flag Football, one of the largest youth flag football programs in the country. He has helped send multiple girls to college, led multiple teams to national and world championships, and has been a huge advocate for growing the game, especially on the girls' side.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes, so we've got a lot to cover today, from the current state of flag football to its rapid growth on the women's side. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Joseph Taglia. I'm based in Monmouth County, New Jersey. Our program runs out of Staten Island, New York, which is kind of like the mecca of girls flag football. There's so much girls flag football in that little area of New York. It's crazy.
Amazing. So, Joe, you have been in this game for over 2 decades.
Yes.
When did you first realize that girls flag football was about to explode?
We started our program in 2019, right around COVID. I remember our first tournament got canceled because of COVID. So around that time, I had no idea. We had one boys team and one girls team when we started, and I had no idea where the game was and where it's at. Probably in the last year, I call it pickleball for kids. It took off like pickleball. It's out of control. There's leagues everywhere. The girls are unbelievable. So I'd say in the last 2 years, it just exploded. And now with it going to the Olympics, forget it. It's crazy.
Yes. So when you knew it was going to the Olympics, what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it was great because I feel like a lot of girls that I've coached or that I've coached against are going to have that opportunity to make that team. And that's what was great. Like there's going to be girls who are playing flag football that are going to be in the Olympic Village, that are going to be Olympic athletes and experience a life-changing event that they could advertise later in life if they're a personal trainer, a football coach, that I'm an Olympic athlete. And there's not many people in this world that could say that.
So
Absolutely.
you are an Olympic athlete. Oh, wait. That's why you said that the girls would be able to say.
Yeah, these girls are going to turn into Olympic athletes, and it's just an amazing accomplishment that a little girl playing football in 5th grade now has the opportunity to play in high school, play in college, and then represent their country in the Olympics on that huge stage. It's amazing.
That is fantastic. So sending multiple girls to college through flag football is an incredible achievement. And what do you think has been the key to opening up those opportunities?
Well, the one thing with the girls going to college is all these girls they're not getting recruited out of their high schools where we live. They're all getting recruited at like the flag football life tournaments, the NFL flag tournaments, the SHS tournaments. That's what's really putting these girls on the microscope, because like a college coach, like a Kaiser or Warner, Weber, St. Thomas, Ottawa, they can go to one tournament once a month and see 100 of the best athletes. So the girls are put on this stage, and it's easy for them to get noticed. And obviously with social media, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have Huddle. It's just easy for girls to get recognized now. You're like 20 years ago, the coach would have to get on a plane and go visit all these kids. Now they can go on Instagram and build a team based off Instagram. So social media really is helping grow the game. There's a lot of players that have great social media presence. And I think a lot of the young girls now really have to step up their social media game, especially, when you're trying out for like a team like Team USA. There's so many great players in the country, but unfortunately, it's like a popularity contest. You need to have the social media and the skill set to make these teams. So a lot of these girls, they can't worry about what they're posting, and they need to do what everybody else is doing to get recognized. So social media is the biggest part of growing this game, good and bad. But social media is really what took this game to the next level.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I was just going to ask, how do you think more girls can get on that path? But it sounds like social media is probably
there's girls who play rec, and that's fine. They just want to get out there and learn the game. And then there's girls who take it to the next level and play on all these tournaments. And when you're posting highlights against these high level players and on social media, people are seeing that and people are noticing that. Like, I have a little girl on my 10U team who's a quarterback. She's like 40,000 followers from Instagram from flag football. It's crazy. And there's so many girls like that, and each age group has that one social media star that's also an amazing football player. But when you have that social media presence, it makes things easier for you to get to that next level, to get that scholarship, to be asked to play on Team USA, to go to all these
Mm.
select camps. Because the whole like Team USA thing here is crazy. Like, there's 12 girls. They can make 5 teams here, and they could beat each other on any given day. So it's really hard to pick a team of the best men, women, or kids, boys or girls, to represent the country. But I always tell the kids, listen, you want to go to college, you want to be on these teams, you need to post on social media. I always collaborate with I post a lot of highlights for the kids. I don't know if you looked at our Instagram. And I make sure I always collaborate with them because I know they'll never do it. But if I collaborate with them and they just hit accept, then it's going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So you've won multiple NFL flag national championships. What's the secret sauce behind building a dominant flag football program?
Well, it starts with the parents. I always take a parent before I take a kid, right? You got to have really good parents on the sideline. One parent can ruin your entire program. And unfortunately, that's just what it is. You have like our one group that won 3 national championships. I've had them since they're 9. They're all in 17U right now. They won 3 in a row, and then they lost last year. So they've been to 5 national championships in their 5 years of playing flag football. They won 3 of them and lost 2. And the key to that team is just I had the same kids forever, and I have really, really good parents who just understand their kids' role. And that's the key to successful teams is there's only one football, only 5 kids play at a time. Our games are not like an IFAF game where it's actually long and enjoyable. You get the ball 4 or 5 times a game, 2 12-minute halves, running clock. So sometimes certain kids may not get in the game as much as their parents would want them to. Luckily, we beat a lot of teams well, so we were able to work everybody in. But in those certain games, there's kids who don't get in the game. If their parents don't understand their role, it makes your life, I feel like somebody stares through my soul all the time. I feel like from behind me, I feel like people are staring at me right now because their kid's not in the game. It's hard to make everybody happy. But if you have a group of kids where everybody knows their role, you'll have the best time ever. But everybody has to understand their role. That's the key. You have to be transparent with the parents also. If we're going somewhere, I always let it be clear. Listen, I know there's a hotel involved, there's a flight involved. These are the expectations. I don't want to see anybody spend money and not play. So we're very transparent. I think that's a big key too. You don't want somebody to show up and then they don't go in the game one play and they just took off work, booked a hotel, booked a flight, got a babysitter, left the dog home. You want to be very transparent with these people.
I think
That's the key. That is the biggest key is transparency and communication.
Yeah, and that leads to really good relationship building, doesn't it, with the parents? And that's what you need.
Yep. Listen, I have people come and go all the time. It is what it is. But my core group been with me since day one, and they'll never leave. I'm never worried about certain players ever leaving us for another organization. It's very rare. And there's a lot of great organizations in our area. Girls side, there's us. There's the Staten Island Giants. We're literally within a 5-mile radius of each other. They're another great girls organization as well.
So you're talking about the parents, but THT isn't just about winning; it's about the whole community as well.
No,
isn't it?
yeah. When we started this program again, it was 2019. We had 2 teams, and all of a sudden it went to 15 teams, and now it's at 21 teams. We're a complete nonprofit. We charge what it costs to play, and we do a lot of fundraising, and we depend on some community sponsors. But we're all about the kids. We'll never leave a kid behind. If a kid can't get to a tournament, we'll make sure they get there. We'll get them there. We'll get the parent there. Whatever we need to do to make it work, and everything's 100% confidential. And we're just here to give the kids the best experience. And it's all about experiences. These kids are making friends with kids from Massachusetts, kids from Florida, California, and they're seeing them once a month. And now, again, back to social media. With social media, everybody's friends again, right? Everybody communicates all the time. It's great to see because when I played sports, I played the town 1 town over or the town 20 minutes away. These kids are now traveling all over the country, making friends, and it's all about giving these kids an experience and friends they're going to have for their whole playing career, and maybe one day they'll play football in college together. Who knows? So that's what it's really all about, is giving these kids an experience and keeping them out of trouble. It's not like it used to be. Kids don't play outside like they used to. Like I don't even see kids play outside where I live in New Jersey. But when I grew up, that's all we did. So if you can keep these kids active and just keep them in a team environment, they're going to become better individuals when they grow up.
Yeah. So you're saying it's more accessible for kids, isn't it? How you guys approaching it. So can
Yeah,
you
so
talk
so
more?
we pull all of our kids from, like, there's a couple huge local leagues in our market. We don't run it. We run a very small in-house league, but our everything for us is travel. So there's a lot of kids that come try out for our teams. I have two teams in every girls division and three teams in my older girls division, just to give them the opportunity to play and be involved in this world. I have an A and a B 17U team, an A and a B 14U team, 12U, 10U, 8U, everything for the girls. So we're trying to give as many kids the opportunity to experience this great sport that has evolved into something that I've never seen before so fast.
Yeah. So is that the foundation's mission then, to make it more
Yeah, our
accessible?
mission is to get the kids and give them a great experience and make new friends throughout the East Coast, the West Coast, down south, and just experience this great time.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that's great. So we all love the growth of flag football, but what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in expanding the sport, particularly for the girls' side?
So on the girls' side, the biggest problem, I live in New Jersey. My team is based out of New York. The biggest problem I'm seeing in the state of New Jersey, in New York, it's already an actual sport, a high school sport. In New Jersey, it's a club sport. So they play the same season as lacrosse and softball. So right now, if you play lacrosse or softball, you could still play flag football because it's a club sport, right? So once it becomes a sanctioned sport, now you have to pick flag football, lacrosse, or softball. So a lot of the athletic directors in New Jersey, they're not all in on it because softball is popular, lacrosse is popular. They're going to lose athletes because what I
Mhm.
said before, flag football is becoming pickleball for kids. It's popular, it's hot, everybody wants to be part of it. Now you have these elite athletes who never played flag football but played basketball or played softball or lacrosse. Like, I want to try flag football. And that's why the game is evolving, because you're getting amazing athletes from other avenues and other sports coming to our sport. And a lot of the athletic directors do not want to lose their softball and lacrosse teams because that's been with them since day one. So there's a
Mhm.
little bit. That's why New Jersey still has it as a club sport, and Texas doesn't even have girls playing football, which is mind blowing as well. So that's probably the same reason as New Jersey. I can't speak on Texas. I don't live there, but I'm going to assume the reason they don't have it is these schools don't want to lose their other athletes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right now, Florida is great with it. Georgia, Florida, California, New York, and I know, like, Michigan. I believe Michigan has it, and a couple other states are really big into it, and the rest of the states are fighting to make it grow as a full sport. Right now, it's
Mhm.
a club sport, so it's like joining the chess club or the frisbee club. It's not real. You're still
Mhm.
playing other teams, but it's not like a varsity sport like soccer, wrestling, baseball. And in New Jersey, hopefully they make that happen. Right now in New Jersey, the New York Jets are unbelievable what they do to help grow the game. We won a couple of their regionals. They send you a check for $5,000 per team so the parents could pay for travel. The Jets are all in. The Giants help out a little bit. Like, the Jets kind of took one half of New Jersey and the Giants took the other half. So they're both growing the game in different ways. But what the New York Jets do for the sport of girls flag football in New Jersey is absolutely amazing. They're
Mm.
unbelievable. They're really making it happen, and I think they're going to set the standard for the other 31 NFL teams to jump in and let's make this happen, because you have the Jets behind you, you have a few dollars behind you. All it takes is a couple dollars to make this work. And these schools don't have budgets like that. Some of these kids don't even have books. The last thing they're worried about is flag football. But if you have
Mhm.
an organization like the New York Jets come in, and even if all their major cities start having sports, you could really take that game to the next level.
Mhm. Yeah, and what you're saying, so it's the NFL pushing flag football more, isn't it? And the fact that it's included in the 2028 Olympics.
Yeah.
How do you see that shaping the future of the sport?
On the girls' side, I think it's going to be amazing. Now, once it hits the Olympics, right now, like, I'm going to touch on the colleges so I can piggyback into the Olympics. Right now, it's just NAIA colleges are giving out scholarships, right? There's your Kaiser, Warner, Weber, Ottawa, St. Thomas, Cotty. I can just name a couple off the top of my head. I think once it hit the Olympics, you're going to have the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Clemsons, the Florida State are going to transition into actual flag football. Right now, they have really good club teams that could probably beat most of the college teams because they're just a bunch of great athletes who want to go to college, get an education, and still stay active. But once it hits the Olympics, I think you're going to see it in Division 1. And that's when everything really changes. That's when it gets crazy because like I said before, once these basketball players start coming into flag football and seeing there's a Division I chance, there's some big girls, big athletes out there that are going to dominate flag football. You can catch a basketball, you can catch a football. So I think that you're going to see a lot of those girls transition after the Olympics. It's really going to take off.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think lots of sports, you're saying like everybody that plays basketball can also catch a football, but it's also a lot of footwork, I think, that can transition from one
Yeah,
sport to
soccer
the other.
players especially, forget it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Soccer,
basketball, soccer.
yeah,
So
every athlete, lacrosse, everything. Like they're just you're once it like right now, a lot of our girls on our elite teams are very, very good basketball players, and probably going to go to D2 play college basketball. Maybe a couple will go D1. So they don't really take football as serious because these NAIA schools, they're great for the girls, get a free education, but I don't know if it's the school you want to send your kid to.
mhm,
Like these schools are in the middle of nowhere. The kids want to go to a Clemson, a Rutgers, Alabama, like Ohio State, and be around people. And once that happens, this game, you see nothing until that happens. Like a lot of
mhm.
the D3 schools are slowly getting it, but they can't give out scholarships. They can get creative with some scholarship money for your grades and some grants and stuff, but they can't give you a true scholarship. So once these real schools start giving out true scholarships, this game is going to quadruple in players that are playing on the girls' side.
Yeah, yeah, we cannot wait to witness it for sure. So you've coached countless athletes. So what is your coaching philosophy, and how do you get the best out of young flag football players?
I'm a very, very loose coach. I'd like to joke around with the kids, make them laugh, have a good time. I'm not a yeller. Some of my coaches are. That's not me. I only yell at referees and other coaches. I'll never yell at my kids. I just like to have fun with the kids, laugh, joke with them. And if you're having a good time on the sideline, the kids are joking and laughing, and their attitudes are positive, it's going to translate to the game. It's all like we practice. It's hard to practice when you have 16-year-old girls who have lives, jobs, play four other sports. After 12, I coached every age group. After 12U, it's all downhill with practice. Good luck getting them to show up. My 10, 12U girls will practice 5 days a week. Once they hit that 14 age, who's working, who got a boyfriend, who's playing basketball, soccer, tennis. So I just try to set up as much scrimmages as possible just to get the kids work. But I know they're all active, so it is what it is. But just keeping it loose, making sure the kids always have fun. We do a lot of stuff as an organization. Like when we go to tournaments, we all stay at the same hotel, um, which is fun. Everybody hangs out. Everybody's pretty much from a 7-mile radius in our organization with a few outsiders. I'd say 90% of our organization live in Staten Island, New York. And then we have a couple people who live in Jersey or Jersey or Staten Island, nobody outside of that. Because there's like rules on certain tournaments. You have to live X amount of miles away to play for NFL flag. So you have to live 70 miles away from our field to play for us for NFL flag. They're the only ones with that rule. Anybody else, you could live anywhere.
Interesting.
So it's like they want you to they don't want you to make a super team. So if my league is in Staten Island, New York, you could draw a 70-mile circle around my field, and anybody who lives in that circle could play for us. If they live in like Connecticut, they can't play for us. They have to go to a program in their area.
Right.
There's some teams that get creative and they'll go open a league. There's ways around it, but it's just a lot of work.
I bet. Yeah. So we assume you've played many games. If you've coached a lot of
Thousands, yeah.
thousands and thousands. So if you had to pick one game in your career that stands out the most, whether it was the most intense, emotional, or just downright legendary, which one would it be and why?
It would be our first national championship when we were 10U. We were in NFL flag in Tampa, and we played an amazing team, the Virginia Hurricanes, and that was our first national championship that we won. And that team that was the first tournament we won as that age group, was a national championship. And that team probably beat us 6 times during the year. We have a great respect and rivalry with them now. We still play them to this day in every style. And that right there, a 2019 national championship 10U, was with the girls now who are 16, 17, or 15, 16, whatever they are, was my best memory as a coach, was that game.
And what made it so special?
It was just, the first time they ever won a tournament was a national championship. We were definitely down 7-0, 6-0. I think you came back 1-7-6. There was a couple great plays at the end, and it was just an all-around great time for everybody, the parents. It was during COVID. I feel like we might have even been wearing masks. So it was just a lot going on. And it was just, we were on a sideline for a while because of COVID. Every tournament kept getting canceled. And then Florida finally opened its doors and was like, all right, let's play football.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just great. It was a great group of parents. I think 9 of the 10 are still with us to this day since they're 10. One of them ventured off to basketball full time. But yeah, that was my. There's so many memories, but that was one of the best. And I've probably been to a couple hundred tournaments, so that was by far the best.
Yeah, that sounds like a very, very special one. So there are a lot of parents and young players listening who want to, young players who want to actually reach the next level. So, what is your best piece of advice for them?
For the young players or for the parents?
For both of them.
For the young players, just don't get discouraged. Like again, you're going to see these kids on Instagram doing crazy things. Don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself, and just go out there and become the best you could be. Don't don't compare yourself to people, because there's people that's been playing this game since they're 5 that are 12 now, and you might have just picked up a football yesterday as an 11-year-old girl. You're not going to be that person. You may be that person one day, but just be a better you every day, and that's all you could do.
Awesome. And how can parents help their children to reach the next level?
I have a saying: players play, coaches coach, and parents be parents. Just let your parent play, let your kid play, let your coaches coach, and just enjoy the moment. Put your phone down, stop videoing every play, video a couple, enjoy it. It only happens once. They grow up fast. I'm watching girls who were 10 that are getting driver's licenses now just in a snap of a finger. So you really just let the coaches coach. You're going to have coaches that you don't like. You're going to have coaches that are the best coach your kid ever had. And somebody's not going to see your kid the same way you see your kid. It's your kid. You're going to think they're the greatest thing ever. Just trust the coaches and trust the organization you're in, that they're going to do the right thing for your kid.
That's a very good piece of
like
advice.
that. Yeah, it sounds like just being a bit more present in the present moment and really enjoy those.
Youth sports. You guys are in Italy, correct?
I am. My sister's in the
I'm
UK.
in the UK.
Okay. So youth sports here is crazy. It's a crazy atmosphere. I'm sure it's the same over there. It is absolutely crazy, the sideline of youth sports and what goes on. It's
Yeah.
not. It's nuts. I'm sure it's like that everywhere, but the girls' flag football, it's crazy. It gets wild. I've seen it all on the sideline, and from 8U parents going at it to high school parents, and it's really, the kids are never really the issue ever. It's just the parents. It's wild, and I definitely want you to make a movie on the parents of youth sports.
I bet.
They can get really excited, a bit overexcited sometimes, don't they? And probably in decisions that they shouldn't be involved in.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is, a lot of tournaments in New York, New Jersey, they sell liquor at the tournaments. They have like a beer truck. And we were in Disney and they had a beer garden. I'm not complaining. I like to have a couple drinks. I'm not going to lie, but that's just not a good mix. The parents already bring their own coolers with their Yeti coolers. It is what it is. But when you're serving liquor at youth sports and beer and wine, and it's 100 degrees out, it's a recipe for disaster. But we're huge with flag football life. I don't know if you know Matt Remo, Mike Remo. Phoebe's involved with them. You know Phoebe, I'm sure. Phoebe's always at their tournaments helping them. They run the best flag football tournament that you will ever be part of. They're so organized. They're consistent. Every month we had a tournament. There was probably 25 teams in the 14U girls division. They have a couple hundred teams at every tournament. And they do an amazing job. And also this year, Oakley Sunglasses and RCX Sports did a tournament this year.
Yes.
We were one of the organizations that were invited. It was the best experience. It was Oakley and RCX that I've ever been part of. They set it up so good for these kids. It was during the wildfires in LA, so everybody's like, oh, hopefully they don't cancel this. So It was us, Apex Predators, Texas Fury, Staten Island Giants, Jacksonville, SoCal, and Tucson Turf were the 8 teams that were invited. And we had an amazing time. It was anybody who played NFL flag last year. So it was really a 19U tournament. But when you got there, they took every girl to Oakley headquarters. They let them make their own sunglasses. They gave them a duffel bag of equipment. Everybody was at the same hotel. You were hanging out with all the coaches, all the people that you compete against. And then when you got to the San Diego Chargers facility, which they no longer use because they moved to LA, but each team had their own locker room, and we played at their practice facility. So there was like a THT locker room, Staten Island Giants, SoCal locker room, and everybody had to watch everybody play. So there's only 2 games going on at a time, and you were there all day, and the fields were like the real size. They weren't shortened to skim it a little bit. The end zones were painted with Oakley. There was photographers, videographers everywhere. It was a very small and intimate tournament, but it was by far the best experience I ever had. We ended up making it to the second day, and then Apex, who won the whole thing, ended up knocking us out. They're another great organization out of Nevada, the Las Vegas area, and that was a really, really good experience. And you're going to see more intimate stuff like that. And that's where these girls are really getting noticed for college. Like there was a couple college coaches there. And when you have a company like Oakley behind you, when there's money involved, they could just do such great things for these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there are a lot of developments, but if you had to make a bold prediction, where do you see girls flag football in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think in 5 years, it'll be in Division II colleges. I think in 7 to 8 years, it'll be in all the Division I colleges. Maybe you'll see a professional league on like ESPN 8. Like the girls will have some kind of professional league. They just don't have the money to pay them. So what they would have to have, like the girls play, the women's leagues would have to be strategically planned to be successful financially. But I could see them having a professional flag football league on TV, kind of like the XFL or NFL Europe, like they used to have. In the next 5 to 10 years. Once it hits the Olympics, everything's going to change. The athletes are going to come out of the woodworks, and you're going to have elite Division I athletes coming into the flag football space. And everybody playing now has got to turn it up because they're coming to take your spots.
Yeah.
And then you see some like, basketball, soccer, they're unbelievable athletes. You give them a couple tournaments, they're going to be just as good as anybody on the football field.
For sure. Well, that's amazing, Joe. So, all right. Well, it's time for our rapid fire round, which is a
Okay.
little tradition in our podcast.
Okay.
So we're throwing 10 quick questions at you. You got to answer fast. Okay.
Go ahead.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay. Favorite flag football play of all time?
Flag football play, wheel route.
Okay.
What's the biggest misconception people have about flag football?
Flag football is nothing like tackle football. Everything you know about tackle football, throw in the garbage. It's a completely different game. The only thing same is the football. And it's not like some random game. The athletes that play flag football are amazing.
On point.
If you could add any crazy new rule to flag football, what would it be?
Any rule?
Yeah.
On the youth side, I would add downfield laterals because we can't do that.
Okay. Fair.
Okay. So who's got the best hands in flag football right now?
Adult?
Let's go for the youth.
Girls.
Youth, girls. Wow, there's so many. In college, I would say Ashley Clam, Kennedy Foster.
Shout out.
Yeah, let's go.
If you could steal one player from any other team, who would it be?
One player from any other team, who would it be? Oh man, there's so many good players. For the girls, I'm a younger girls team. There's a girl on She Different. Her name is Maddie. She's really good for 10U. I would take her.
Awesome. Funniest pre-game ritual you have ever seen?
Weirdest?
Yeah, funniest, weirdest. Yeah.
My kids are so little that I'm coaching now. They really don't have them. But I have a couple kids that wear like different color cleats. They switch cleats with their teammates, and one wears a white one wears a green one. But we don't have like that locker room atmosphere. So with the kids, it's different. It's not like when you're an adult and you're in a locker room and people are, doing a shot before they go play. It's different with the kids. So I don't really see them like, they're with their parents, eating oranges, tying their shoes, and they come on the field. So it's a little different. We don't have that locker room feel.
Makes sense.
That's fair. If you weren't coaching flag football, what sport would you be coaching?
Baseball.
Ooh, baseball.
Baseball. Okay.
Baseball. Yeah.
Awesome. Craziest celebration you've ever seen after a TD?
Oh, I have this one girl. She plays at Kaiser now. she would do backflips after every touchdown, and I would let her get penalties for doing them because it was just fun. I didn't even care if she got a penalty. Like, she would do them after every touchdown. She still does them now after Kaiser wins. They always post it. It was the one that I sent you, the that they were trying to get on the Italian team.
Oh,
She's
yes.
the best player that I've ever coached. One of the best.
Oh,
I saw her
wow.
backflips, actually. I saw the
Yeah,
back.
yeah. She just got. I just actually posted her before. She just got Player of the Week for Kaiser for the second time for defense. This is her last season because it's her 4th year, so she's done after this.
Okay, wow. Okay, so you have to build a flag football super team. Who's your
Okay.
first?
A football with NFL players or with
No, flag football super team
for kids.
for kids.
Girls.
For girls, I'm gonna rock with my teams. I don't really need anybody else. We're pretty much top 3 in every age group. I'm good with my teams.
Okay.
I'm not a big borrowing players guy. A lot of teams like to do that and build these super teams, and just I want my kids to win together and lose together. Obviously, if we're going to a tournament far away, and we're short players, and I know some players that are there in a lower division, I'll always call their parent, "Hey, we're short in 14U. Does your daughter want to double up and play?" I'd rather rock with my girls. I'm sure I could build some amazing super teams just off the talent in Staten Island alone.
I love that. Yes. Okay, so our last one. If you had to describe your coaching style in only 3 words, what would they be?
Laid back and fun.
And
Laid back and fun. 3 words. Laid back, fun, and creative.
okay,
All
okay,
right.
perfect. All right, Joe, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and passion for flag football with
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, where can people find you and
Oh,
THT Flag Football if they want?
THT Flag Football on Instagram.
Yeah.
Everything's there you need to know. We do a great job of getting our kids noticed, posting highlights. Our page is very active. I actually manage the page. I write back to everybody that has questions. I have coaches from all over the country reach out to me for like advice, and I always take their call and help them and let them know how me and my partner Brandon built this. And it's amazing. It's a lot of work. It takes over your life. Like, I
Yeah.
block off like 2 hours a morning just for football before I even start my real day. And that's not even counting the day after a tournament when it's probably I call it Black Monday, because my phone just rings all day of complaints and who wasn't happy, why'd we lose, why'd we do this. And I'm like the contact person for all 21 teams. So everybody always comes to me.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to seeing this episode and many more.
Yeah.
It's great that you're doing this, and I could find this on YouTube when it's done, or on Patreon or whatever.
Yes, on YouTube and all the other platforms. We have Spotify.
Oh, you're on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yes, Spotify as well. So awesome. Thank you, Joe. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you loved this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Talkin Flag on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. We're on all the platforms, as I just mentioned.
And as always, keep bowling, keep grinding, and we'll catch you next time on Talking Flag.
Thank you.
Peace.
Take care. Be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be
Bye.
good. Bye.